Hello, and welcome to another episode of RayJ Reviews, a chance for you to learn about what I've been doing lately and hopefully want to get out and do some of these things yourself. Today I'm going to tell you about a very interesting event I got to attend in Kountze, Texas, actually in a ranch just a little bit south of there. It was syrup making. Floyd Boyett he owns the ranch there and has been doing syrup making there for about 15 years. And although they do make syrup periodically, once a year they have a big gathering of friends and family and people he knows, and they get together and make syrup and just kind of enjoy cooking together, playing music, just a nice big family event. I got to learn a lot of new things that day. I learned a little bit more about how they actually make syrup, and I watched them do it. They ran some sugar cane through a press and got the juice out, and they put it in a vat and they boil it. And well, this gentleman here will tell you the whole process.
First thing we have to do is strip it and cut it and get the cane here on the trailer. And then after we get it on the trailer, we try to make sure that frost doesn't get on it. We'll put it on into the mill. Mill's tractor driven. It's a commercial grade mill, an old mill, probably 100 years old. We'll wring the juice out. We'll put the juice in this vat. We'll cook it. We put about 75 to 80 gallons of juice in here. We end up with about 10 to 12 gallons of syrup. We have to skim the impurities off the syrup with skimmers, and then we will can it in pint jars or quart jars, whatever people choose to have. It makes a real good syrup for biscuits. Kind of like Floyd, it's maybe not the best on pancakes. Aunt Jemima may have us beat, but it's very good on biscuits. But that's a quick synopsis of how we do it.
And I also learned a little bit about syrup making and how it fit in with the economy. And Floyd is going to tell you a little bit more about all that and the whole history of what he's been doing.
I'm Floyd Willis Boyett, and this is my farm here just south of Kountze. The farm is called Raven Acres. It had that name when I purchased it about 20 years ago. We started making syrup, I think this is my 15th or 16th year to do it. And I mainly got interested in this because of genealogical research. I'm a genealogist, and doing my family research, I started discovering a lot of my ancestors made syrup. There was always somebody in every community that would be the syrup maker. Syrup was actually a commodity. You could pay for items with cans of syrup because you couldn't go to the store and buy a 5-pound bag of sugar. You had to use syrup to sweeten your desserts and anything else you was cooking with. So it was just a commodity. But usually only one person in a community had the funds to buy the machinery to mill the cane and the vats to cook it in and all of the supplies that was needed. So everybody would bring their cane to that one spot in the community, and when that happened, they normally would have a party. And that's essentially what we're doing here. This is what you would have seen 100 to 200 years ago. The community getting together, having a meal, making syrup, and visiting and singing and just having a ball. And so that's what we do.
Now at this farm, what they normally use is a tractor to run this belt-driven press to squeeze the juice out of the sugar cane. But there's also another thing that was used many years ago, about 100 years ago, and it was called a hit and miss gasoline farm engine. It's a very economical device for running presses like this or other machines.
What's your name?
Arthur Carter.
Okay, and what brings you out here today?
I come out here every year. It's just good friends. And this would have been a farm engine used in early teens. Matter of fact, it's dated 1914, so it's 100 years old this year.
And what'd you call it? What kind of motor is it?
It's a hit-miss gasoline farm engine. And what they were used for basically is everything. Anything you could belt it up to. A buzzsaw, a cane press, a churn, a water pump, anything. Like we use electric motors today. They didn't have electric motors. They used gasoline engines back then. And the reason being hit and miss was to save your batteries and your gasoline, because they had to take half a day to go to town to buy gasoline, and it used little dry batteries. And they won, you know, and it cost $69. Doesn't seem like much today, but back then, that would have, to us, it'd be about like 1,200 or even more than that.
The ones that did the volley with the rifles are Sons of Confederate Veterans, and they're the Philip A. Work Camp out of Woodville, Texas, and I'm a member of that as well. And so these are friends of mine that come down in uniform and honor our Confederate ancestors by showing up and doing the volleys and taking care of teaching young men and even young ladies that want to shoot a black power rifle from the mid-1800s. They do that. They enjoy teaching the people about the history of the South.
Aim. Aim.
The Village Creek Cookers who are a Dutch oven cooking club, and they're part of the Lone Star Dutch Oven Club, which is the Texas club of Dutch oven cookers. And we have been in existence probably, I'm going to say 10 years or more. And we meet here at my farm once a month on the second Saturday of each month and start gathering up in the afternoon, and we have a meal just before dark. And it's just a potluck thing. The members of the club and visitors come out and cook, and we just put it all together and have a meal and have fellowship. Just a good time.
Now, this is not a big public event where everyone goes to. It's just by word of mouth and so forth. So you probably won't get to this actual event, but there are syrup making events in October and November around the East Texas area, and I would encourage you to go out and see one of these sometime. Also, I'd like to encourage you to go look at my other episodes and see what else I've been doing. And but most importantly, I hope that you can get out and enjoy life. I got to learn a lot. I got to learn a lot that weekend. I got to learn